We got Dylan here.
What's up, Dylan? How are you?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Um, Dylan, at least from our vantage point, it felt like you had the ball kind of initiating offense a lot more on Tuesday than you have in recent games. Is that accurate? Was that an adjustment you guys made?
A little bit. We knew that one of their freshman guards at Butler was big on pressuring the ball. So we knew
Uh,
they were going to probably pressure Ian. And I mean, me and Bryce Hopkins, like we could handle the ball coming up. So we didn't even want to bother the pressure that, some of their guards were going to put on our guard. So I was kind of bringing the ball up a little bit more. And coach has kind of emphasized that throughout the season, just handling the ball and making plays myself.
it seemed like though, I mean, you had one of your better games, and it seemed like it really worked out pretty well with you kind of in that point forward role, which we haven't seen, I guess, quite as much of late. Is
Yeah.
that something you guys think you might do more of?
Yeah, I could see it. I think Coach looks at like he talks a lot about with me and Bryce being able to handle the ball and being kind of like that point forward role that we could both kind of be able to handle the ball and bring it up and get the offense going, get the movements going, just starting it ourselves. Because a lot of things run through me and Bryce when it comes to some of the movement stuff and some of the cuts we do and stuff. So us being able to bring the ball up and getting straight into some of our movement stuff, I mean, it's definitely an advantage. So it's something that we've talked about a lot and something that head coach has been pushing on us throughout the beginning of the season, being able like handling the ball.
Dylan, I think, in addition to all that, like one big adjustment you guys made against Butler was playing three bigs a lot. You did a little earlier in the season. Obviously, you, Bryce, and Zuby started. We saw a lot of Zuby and Ruben. How comfortable are you guys playing all together, given like that seems like one of your best defensive lineups, given your struggles there and also rebounding as well?
Yeah, I mean Butler with the Butler game, Butler was a team who really rebounded the ball. Michael Ajayi is a guy who absolutely gets all the rebounds. It's like a little smaller Zuby. So we want to go with a little bigger lineup just with the rebounding and stuff. And it's definitely a little bit easier on the defensive side, being able to kind of switch three through the five, and I can kind of switch with some of the guards, and so can Bryce, and really all of us. But when it came to like some of the stuff with the three and the four, or the three and the five, or the four and the five, being able to just switch all that stuff definitely made it a lot easier. And then obviously the game plan was being able to rebound the ball. That's one of our struggles that we've had throughout the season is when it comes later in games, rebounding the ball to finish out our game. So we wanted to kind of have that approach going into it, especially with Butler, especially with Michael Ajayi being a good rebounder like he was.
Given the fact that there was a lot of there were a lot of minutes where both Zuby and Ruben were like on the court together, would you be surprised if Zuby was telling us that like typically in a practice they're matched up against each other? Would you be surprised if, in practices now there are some drills where they're together?
No, not at all. I think they played extremely well together, and that's just because how versatile they both are, being able to move on the defensive end and guard, being able to move their feet, obviously rebounding. Zuby and Ruben, especially being able to stretch the floor a little bit, to play alongside each other and then rebounding the ball. I mean, they're both so versatile that I mean they could play great together, and they did.
Do you? I
Dylan,
mean,
you guys had high expectations coming into this season, and the start of the season probably didn't go as you guys had expected it. But with a win at Butler already this week, do you think a win at Creighton could kind of show everybody that you guys are that still that legitimate threat and that really good team with that high expectations?
Yeah, I mean, we know we are. It's just going to take a game at a time. I mean, we had some tough games earlier in the season, but now, I mean, all we can do is control the next game and try to control practice every day. Creighton, going to Creighton is going to be a big game for us, and it's a game that we definitely need for the season. So, I mean, Butler was a great win for us, and now we got back to back with Creighton away games. I mean, Creighton's going to be a really good game, a really good team, and it'll be a big win for us that we know we need to get.
Dylan, it seemed like it's pretty clear that the strength of the team is the front court with you four guys. Um, do you think you guys found something against Butler in terms of going big and forcing the other team to adjust to you? And we all know basically all four big guys can guard on the perimeter, can guard guards. I mean, do you think you guys kind of found maybe your identity a little bit?
I mean, maybe. I think it was more so, at least for that game for now, just kind of an adjustment part. Like I said, with how Butler rebounded the ball, and we kind of want to go bigger with
Right.
helping us rebound. But I think with this team, I mean, there's so many different lineups you could go, and it's all about personnel and knowing the other team and what the other team's good at. But I think that's one of the strengths with this team is, I mean, there's so many different ways we can go with lineups or I mean, none of us even care about the lineup sometimes, but there's so many different ways you can put guys in together throughout the game. And I think with that game, Butler specifically, I think it was good that, sometimes we had a little bit of a bigger lineup just to help with a rebound. I mean, I think Butler only had one offensive rebound in the first half, I want to say.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of what Butler does. I mean, some of their offense is literally, I mean, they'll shoot it within a couple seconds of the shot clock, and then game starts when that ball gets off the backboard.
Dylan, it you have some perspective now. You had an excellent game when you guys played at Georgetown, not so much with the Providence game. You've now had a really good game against Butler. Do you have any theories about why Providence happened the way it happened?
Think it was just attention to detail, attention to some of the smaller things. Really the same problems we've had with some of our other losses throughout the season. Not executing late down in the stretch, not finishing plays with rebounds. Um, we didn't have Zuby was out there on a one man mission, and we didn't have his back like we should have and been out there with him. Um, a lot of us just didn't step up in that moment. But I think it came down to some of the smaller things, some of the execution stuff, and then obviously the biggest was just rebounding the ball and just locking in on the defensive end and the personnel. It came down to all the little things, and that's some of the problems we've had earlier throughout the season.
Dylan, going back to that Providence game, Bryce obviously didn't play as well as he probably wanted to against his former team and everything, but against Butler, I mean, he was in the second half really aggressive and scoring and getting to the rim. And we know Coach Pitino had talked about probably for the last month about him wanting to change his personality and get meaner and tougher out there on the court. Have you seen that progression from him? Like he looked really assertive and aggressive against Georgetown, maybe not so much against Providence, and then it showed against Butler. Have you seen that in practice as well, that he's heeding that advice?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Bryce is tough to guard, especially when he's getting downhill, and it's just something that I mean, Coach P puts a lot of confidence in him, and he puts a lot of confidence in all of us. But we definitely see the what Bryce has and what he could bring to this team and how he can affect games, especially with how he is on the offensive side and defensive side. But I think offensively, him just get downhill and kind of get in that mindset that I mean, whoever's in front of me can't stop me, and that's something I've seen Bryce kind of have that mindset coming along now to where whoever's in front of him, I mean, he's going at them and it's hard to stop him when he's getting downhill at you. So it's great to have for us. I mean, that's the Bryce Hopkins, we need and we want and we not expect every night, but we know he's capable of doing every night.
What's up?
Zuby, did Ruben cut his hair? Coach Pitino just posted a picture like an hour ago,
Just seen
and
the tweet. Coming from me, he did not cut his hair.
okay, we have to know because now your team, if that was true, your team would be like the big hair cutters with Ian cutting his hair too.
Oh, right. To be determined, though.
So you think it's a fake photo?
Oh no, it's a photo from years back though.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's legit.
Okay.
Zuby, what's it? I mean, speaking about Ruben, what's it like? I mean, you guys played some time together last year on the court. This year it hasn't been as often, but when you guys have played together, I mean, the team has performed really well. What's it like playing with him this year and kind of his improvement from his freshman year to now being a sophomore?
Yeah, he definitely stepped up in a much bigger role, obviously, and it's something that I see every day in practice. Every day in practice, he's my main matchup. We don't get too many time playing on the court together, but it was good to see him out there. He was flowing, doing the things he knows he's capable of doing. Which is knocking out shots and using his physicality as well. So it was good. A lot of guys stepped up in the Butler game and. I'm looking forward to Creighton and seeing what guys can do again.
Scooby, do you want to see? I mean, do you think that's something that could work well for you guys going forward? More of you and Ruben together?
I mean, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's not really, my say so. That's not my job to, say who is to get on the court. But every person on this team is, capable of going out there and bringing something to the table in a positive manner. And like I said, Ruben stepped up and Lefty stepped up as well on the offensive end. So, Ruben is a great, great player, even better person. And like I said, I get to witness those same things that he brought to the game in practice each and every day.
What did you like about Zuby? What did you like about that big lineup with you and him together?
Just Ruben, especially with his 3-point shooting, he was able to stretch the floor out a little bit and hit two big threes, especially with the one to close the half. But he brings size, he brings length, and like I said, physicality. A guy who could just do it on both sides of the ball, just like I could can as well. So it's always good. Like I said again, it's not my say so who gets on the court, but we've obviously produced pretty well when we're on the court together.
Zuby, the one of the things that we noticed in the early parts of the season has been that Coach Pitino has been uh, urging greater physicality from the team, and you're probably the most physical player on the team, and it seems like Ruben has been one of the most physical players on the team. Do you think that pairing the two of you may give this team some of the physicality that he's been looking for?
Um, I, I guess so. I guess so. It's it's a battle, each and every day. Like I said, he is my main matchup, so he gets to, you know, guard me and I guard him, and I feel like we complement each other and we make each other better each and every day. And but yeah, guys, everybody, Ruben and Bryce and D Mitch, especially the front court players are doing I think a better job and especially just trying to rebound the basketball on the defensive end and impose our will and our physicality a lot more than we started off the season. So it's still a work in progress. There's still a lot of areas where we can improve, and we're going to watch film. We got a great Creighton team, hungry team here coming up as well. So another big test for us and another opportunity at something big.
Zuby,
Zuby,
you
when
probably
the
have
game
bad memories in Creighton, huh?
Uh, not there's not been a good memory. I don't think I've won in Creighton yet. So it's gonna be a big test, a big game, a good game. Two great teams. I'm looking forward to it. So another opportunity, like I said, on another quad one. So we gotta go out there and leave everything on the table.
Zuby, when the game turned, kind of late in that first half against Butler, you were out there, Ruben was out there, and Lefty was out there too. I mean, you guys all have multiple years of experience playing under Coach Pitino. How important is that when you guys are out there knowing like 100% how he wants you guys to play and where to be defensively, offensively all at the same time? Do you feel like the returners can kind of lead that charge and even though we're in January, still kind of show to the new guys who came in like this is how it's supposed to look?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to, build continuity, just players who's been around the system and understand, what it takes to play at a championship level of what, Coach Pitino wants. So, I think they felt, comfortable out there. You could see it in Lefty, especially in the offensive end. He wasn't nervous. He wasn't afraid of the moment. Ruben as well. Just both of them just stepped up big and give us a big push and especially to close that half. So I feel like they felt comfortable. They understand, Coach Pitino. They understand his system, and like I said, they understand what it takes to win at this level.
Zuby, not to get like too deep into the weeds here, but like if you spend all of your practices working on the role of the five man, and Prey spends all of his practices working on the role of the five man, what happens when they put the two of you together? How do you guys, like, does somebody become the foreman or how does it work?
Coach Pitino says it all the time that, this is really interchangeable. 4 or 5, it really doesn't matter. Obviously the five is in the post a lot more, but it's really interchangeable. Everybody on this team, 1 through 5 handles the ball pretty much. And Ruben has, some experience obviously playing the 4, especially from last year as well. So it's not something that he's new to. He just stays in the corner and expects the ball when he's wide open and crashes the glass as well. So it's not something that's crazy to him.
You know,
Zuby, I guess a lot of people maybe hopped off the bandwagon, if you want to say that, after the loss against Providence and said maybe you guys aren't the contender in the Big East that a lot of people had expected. Do you think with a win on Saturday against Creighton, you can kind of prove and send a message to everybody around the country that you guys still are a legitimate threat to win the Big East again this year?
Um, you know, Especially Coach Pitino, he tells us only to worry about, the people that's right here. Media and fans, they're gonna, say whatever and think whatever they want. But at the end of the day, we're just worried about, us at the end of the day. And it's one game at a time, it's one day at a time. I say it all the time, where you could get better and be the best versions of yourself and see how far the season goes. It hasn't been the best start. Uh, but now we just got to build on the Butler game and go on to Creighton, another hungry team that wants to win as much as we do as well. So it comes down to the little things. It comes down to scout and report, to go on the road and be able to come out with a victory. But it's basketball at the end of the day. There's always going to be people who jump off ship when things aren't going right, but we only could control and worry about what we do and how we approach ourselves each and every day.
Subi, Coach Pitino said something interesting after the game in Indiana. He said that the offense that St. John's plays is like largely sort of European. Do you think of the offense that you guys play as European?
Yeah, it's mostly free flow, motion offense. Obviously he's had some run in the Euros, so he comes back here to St. John's with some familiarity of what he was running down there in the Euros. So we're not a big we run sets type of team. Like just looking back on the game last night with UConn and PC. UConn runs a lot of sets offensively, and I don't think we're that type of team. It's mostly just free flow, motion offense, and we try to get out in transition as much as possible.